we got this Boom coming back as an Outlaw rogue, my man. I do want to see what you end up playing. Healing Space seems like it makes sense in PvP. Also, what legend is he going for? Because if it's a crit Lego and Outlaw, that could be huge. We got this as Animum as a Frost, a DK, two-hand playstyle, C-Wark on that Arcane. We have ourselves Karen as a survival hunter, as well as fast kills. Battle stealth, boys, unless you're dueling. Thanks so much, fam. On the other team, we got us as Alessandro as a Shadow Priest, Torches as a Windwalker, or as a enhancement shaman. We got ourselves Flexicute as a survival with National as a subtle rogue, and Chicago as another enhance. It looks like Garen is going to be first up, but the other team doesn't really know who they're going to send out first. Garen already represented with that Kyrian, dude. If you were only marksman as a Kyrian, wouldn't that be insane? But 30% more crit as a Kyrian does seem like an insanely good combo. I mean, being able to crit more often, it just do a lot of damn. It looks like Chicago is going to be first up. Enhancement versus the Hunter. Setting out the Earth Elemental again. Is Garen going to be trading out the Serpent Sting? Chicago just gonna try to see if you can build up some Maelstrom stacks after the pet. You can put in a Flame Shark on the pet, which is not a bad idea. Pets, I'm pretty sure, still die very quickly. That's gonna be big damage out of both of them. Stunner to Chicago does go for a late trinket, and that's gonna be not a wall available. Just gone for a lot of damage. Gonna be a harpoon for Garrett for a second. Trying to go for a feign death, but looks like he might have the Turtles. Still big damage coming out of Chicago, but Chicago is having to pop a defensive. And that's going to be a lot of the Maelstrom used in order to heal himself up. Garen popping a Turtle Shell right before the Thunder comes out. Not sure what happened to the Manic Bandages, but he's not able to get himself the big reset with those. Is going to at least get 3 tags onto Chicago. And Chicago turning attention onto the pet and actually going to be Raptor down. Does he get an interrupt into Garen's survive pet? He does get the interrupt. Garen feign death for a second, freeze and trap. And Chicago is not going to be able to do much about it. Garen is going to get himself the pet either way. Did have to feign death. It did have to freeze and trap for it. And Chicago looking for a bit of a heal up while dampening isn't super high up. Chicago's going to be in a good spot. Playing the Earth Shield in order to get himself a little bit extra healing every time he takes damage. Or every so often that he takes damage, but also 10% more healing. Making sure to re-flame shock the pet, which is a good idea if you ever go in camo. And the pet is also in camo. The pet takes damage, it'll take you out of camo. Garen dropping down the resonating arrow onto Chicago, looking for some big numbers here. Harpooning back in as he got himself not a lot of cooldowns, but a lot of Mongoose bites for sure. Is gonna go for feign death for a second. Got himself a shield for a moment. Chicago got himself a mass heal going here. Needs to convert a lot of the Maelstrom into self-heal. Freeze the trap as a here is a Kazad. Garen unable to get himself the full re-heal properly. Maybe that's a Flame Shock by Chicago that's keeping him up. And gonna make sure to re-flame shock the Hunter whenever possible. Again, gonna be a bit of a play back and forth, the cat and mouse game, with Garen having the control and Chicago having the self-healing of Enhancement Shaman. Even though you are a glass cannon spec with not a lot of defensive, at least your heals are actually kind of nutty. Not a lot of mana for those heals if you are having to spam it. You can only do like 3 or 4 or 5 of them. Gonna be Garen popping off big cooldowns after freeze the trap into Chicago, playing the very range playstyle with Hunter. Feign death for a second. Chicago popping off wall, but I think Garen might have him. Big heal for Chicago. Stun right after. Has the trinket for it. Still wall is rolling. Gonna be a Sunder, but Garen does bail out of it. And is gonna have some freebie damage with that resonant arrow, allowing himself to do damage through the wall into Chicago. And that's gonna be Garen just trying to get more of those range attacks with kill commands, the Mongoose bites. Freezing trap into Chicago for a second. Does Garen go for a big reheal? Or maybe does he go for a camo? Looks like he's just gonna go for a tag to Chicago, sending out the chakrams, the nays, throwing down the trap. Gonna be a bit of a teleport for Chicago with Dora Shadows, trying to get near Garen. Does go for feign death for a second to clear himself off of dots, but that's gonna be an immediate flame shock onto the Hunter. Chicago trying to turn the attention onto the pet, but the pet already bails out. Garen unable to get himself a big heal. Camo for a second, needs himself a feign death on our town in order to clear himself off of all dots. Chicago getting tagged with a freezer trap as they go in for a heroism, which is super unfortunate. I'm kind of giving everybody a whiplash here. Steel trap set up for Chicago. Do the run through it? Doesn't look like they are going to. Tar Trap doesn't really slow him down. He's going to get a Flame Shock onto the pet. Garen going in for some big damage right now. Stun with Resonating Arrow. Looking for whatever raise damage he can. While Chicago is within Resonating Arrow shot, Garen can actually hit him through the wall the whole time. That's going to be Chicago dropping down, I think, a Counter-Strike Totem. Doesn't really do that much counter-strike damage back to Garen. And the bet has been taking quite a bit of a beating. Big Ascent is coming out. Does Garen have an answer for it? Feign death for a second. Looking for a freezing trap. Chicago does not have a trinket. And Garen does get himself finally a proper man advantage to heal up. Might actually have the advantage here over Chicago, who is going to go for the chain harvest from the Venthyr ability. Doing lots of damage to the Hunter, lots of damage to the pet, also lots of healing as we are about to dive into dampening here, boys. Chicago unstoppable while dampening is not present. Try to get a slow into Garen. There's going to be able to slow him down. Big Sunder to stop him in place. Trying to land a stun. Does not really land it with the capacitor totem. Super unfortunate. And Chicago is super low. Needs to go for more Maelstrom for self-heals. Try to get a healing surge off. Does not get interrupted. Muzzle missing. This is going to be free heals for Chicago with a stun trick inside of it. Wall still running, but needs himself more Maelstrom in order to empower the healing. Needs to hit Garen harder or Hex. Hex try to come out. Try to go for a healing surge again. Does land another one. I think he's actually drained of mana. Needs to go as aggressive as possible. Not a lot of mana really left for him. Does going to be a counter-strike totem back to Garen. Doesn't kill the counter-strike totem just yet. Did go for a feign death. That's going to do quite a bit of zaps back to him. Big elemental blast onto Garen. He should have eliminated that totem, that counter-strike totem. People sleeping on the counter-strike totem. Big alley blast by Chicago, taking out the Hunter, and looks like Boomasaur is going to be up next on Team 2. That was a big duel between an enhancement shaman and a survival hunter. Both of them just hungry for that win, and Boom is going to be out as an Outlaw rogue. I'm really interested what Boom is going to end up playing. Talent-wise, playstyle-wise, all that. Giving a nice bout to Chicago. It's going to be an honor duel. Chicago doesn't have a lot of offensives coming back. Ghost Will's down. Ascendant's down. Wall available in 20 seconds. No trinket for a while. So Boom is going to have that advantage over Rogue. So we'll see where it takes him. Landing a sap in the opener into a shadow strike onto the totem. Gonna get himself some combo points rolling. Slice and dice up and running before he goes in for a big setup on Chicago. Roll the bones. Gets himself a decent buff for cool down reduction. Popping off Adrenaline Rush because that's going to be able to come back very quickly with the CDR. And it's going to go for a big killing spree with that kidney shot. Big damage. Chicago is going to have the totem healing him, though. That's actually quite a lot of healing. Did pop a little bit extra health in order to give himself a lot more survivability. Boom is going to go for a bit of a disarm. Not letting Chicago get a lot of self-heal. Killing the counter-strike totem very quickly. Get to a gouge into Chicago. Boom, I think, is setting up for maybe another go. Actually, I don't think for Boom that wasn't Adrenaline Rush. I think it's just a free Adrenaline Rush from kidney shots. That's what it was. I thought it was what big damage for Chicago onto Boom with that chain harvest. That does take Maelstrom into a blind onto the shaman by Boom as he's going for a bit of a reset. Does he go for the double sip pickup here? He might be going for a double sip pickup play, so he is playing disarm. Got himself regenerating going, so it should be a lot of healing at 14% dampener. I think this is going to be a longer game here, boys. Boom opening up with a cheap shot. There's going to be a Adrenaline Rush with a trinket getting used right now into a cheating shot onto Chicago. Does have himself a reroll the bones with a good set of buffs into a disarm, continuing to chain CC into Chicago, but that's going to be a big Maelstrom, letting Chicago continue getting the big kills. Try to go for Ellie Blast, maybe getting that kicked. I think that's actually a bad idea to get kicked on Ellie Blast because it's all elements. You're locked out on fire, locked out on nature, locked out on literally everything. Counter-strike tone coming down, and Boom should be able to take it out. Grapples out of it instead. Looks like Chicago is able to maintain himself with a self-heal for quite a while, and Boom having to retreat and looking for a reset. Killing spree coming back. Adrenaline Rush should be down for a bit. Is going to go for that Kyrian playstyle. Does get himself a sippy cup rolling. Blind on torches as Boom is looking for a bit of a reset. Probably going to be a sap for him. I wish we could see DRs on this thing. This would be kind of cool. So we could watch the DRs. 48% dampener, boys. That's how long this duel has been going for. And Boom has just been getting all these enhancement shamans back to back. All these enhancement shamans has been getting. Boom. Counter-strike. Thank you so much. Disarming the Georges as they go for a sentence. It looks like Boom is going to take him out. Just getting a little bit of damage here and there. Just a bit of a setup. Immediate disarm into a sentence. Not much you can do. And Boom, take it out. Thanks, fam. Thank you, boys. Counter-strike totem. Appreciate you. It looks like Flexing Cutie is going to be up next. Survival Hunter. Necrolord is going to have that chakram. I like the way that ability looks. But also the shield I think is pretty cool for Survival Hunters, just to give them a little bit more survivability. Boom is approaching, flexing as flexing sets up a trap in every corner. That's going to be a random flare coming out. Boom. If he goes in from wrong direction, he might not be in a good spot. Is going to open up on the muskrat instead to get the slice and dice rolling. Roll the bones into a mark for death onto flexing. As long as he doesn't walk into the freezing trap, he'll be okay. Trying to go for some big damage onto flexing, but that killing spree is stopped by the freezing trap, allowing flexing to get a bit of a heal rolling. Boom does trick it out of the freezing trap, and that's going to be a stun out of flexing. He's just looking for a lot of range. That's going to be that shocker. I'm going to be doing more and more damage to Boom every time he tags him. And it's also going to give flexing a lot of focus, which is good when you pop in a burst. The disarm went to flexing for a second, unable to really do much. But he does have grenades, he does have poisons, he does set up the dots, but he can't really go for the big damn when he needs it. As it was, aspect of the eagle gouge onto flexing for a second. Boom might be able to maybe get something going. Getting a shot at Boom, super low in health, does have to go for advantage. The muskrat is dead. And I don't think Boom is going to go back to interrupt flexing, getting his pet back up and running. He's going to go for manic bandage. Boom could go for some food, while flexing is going to go for a pet revival. Boom, getting the sap on before the flare comes out. Is going to get the opener onto the muskrat. Get himself a slice and dice up and running. Get himself a reroll. Adrenaline rush up and running into a kidney shot onto flexing. Should be a lot of damage here with a killing spear after. Actually, not a full adrenaline rush, just a kidney shot adrenaline rush. That's a lot of damage on flexing. Does drop down a freezing trap. Flexing looking to bail out of there. Boom continued to pistol shot at flexing. Is going to be trickled out of the stun of flexing. Fade death for a second into a turtle. Manic bandage available. Does send a dot as well as a chakram onto Boomer. And a freezing trap is available next to Boom. As long as he doesn't walk into it or tar trap, he'll be okay. And he does not. He actually walks right into a flare, though. Kidney shot available for onto flexing. I think Boom is going to have it. It looks like the Outlaw Rogue takes it. 60 minutes into the duel with 69. Nice dampener. That's a real long duel here, boys. And National is going to be up next as a sub rogue over on the NA. Looks like he's got to want to charge at the Boom, but Boom is already in stealth. Boom also playing carry and might be pretty good for the self heal for his play style. But Boom so far hanging in there, man. Taking it slow and steady as an Outlaw Rogue. As slow and steady as you need to. Resetting if necessary. And playing it by the ear, man. You know what I mean? Hanging out by the eye in case the rogue goes popping off of it. And National hanging out way on the other side. No eye on his end. And he's just going to wait out for Boom by the looks of it. It's going to be a bit of a stealth duel. Rangefoot is instant now, but it comes back a lot slower, doesn't it, Seabark? I think that's what it's going to come down to, is maybe Boom picking it up and the National being aware of it. Boom, is he going to get an advantage stealth? He does not. He knows where National is at, though. Should be able to pistol shot him out. Does pistol shot him out. Try to wait out for subterfuge. Should be a dance for National if he is ready. Gouge by Boom, hoping to get that opener into a slice of this mark for death International. Going for some big damage here. Reroll the bones coming in. But it's going to go for that carry and into a disarm as National got himself some dance, rolling, killing spree to follow. Cloaker shot is for National as he's super low. Blinded to Boom. Big killing spree out of Boom there. Good disarm play. A really good disarm play. Didn't let the rogue play as he went for a dance with blades. And denied him completely the opener. Boom looking for the rogue. Walking right next to him. Should be able to sap him. Does land the sap. I think he's going to have it. Unless National trinkets, he has to. He has to. Cheap shot. Does National trinket it? He doesn't want to unless the kidney shot. Has to go for a trick advantage into a cheap shot onto Boom. Boom trinkets out of it with a gouge onto the rogue. Kidney shot to follow. Does he have enough to finish him off? I think the rogue didn't even get to play. Oh my god. Didn't even get to play. Alessandra going for a bit of a gateway to Boom. Try to catch up. If Boom has the sipping up from his Kirin Steward, that he might be able to take off the Devouring Plague. But Boom is going to have to wait, I think, for Cloak of Shadows here. Play it very, very safely with Alessandra. But Boom so far is dismantling this team slowly but surely. We are at 86% dampener with 19 minutes into this duel, boys. Boom trying to go for that regenerating. Still big heal. Even at 97% dampener, that is a big heal. Alessandra also not going to get any kind of healing, by the way. Cheap shot onto Alessandra as Boom trying to get himself a bit of a setup. Maybe with a kidney shot. Goes in for a gouge instead. I think he's just trying to get himself some calm points just for resets of CDs. And he's going to run out of there with a slow onto Alessandra. Just going to take a super steady, super careful. Alessandra trying to catch up on health. But look, their Shadowlands aren't even able to give him a lot of healing. Big Adrenaline Rush available for Boom. I think he actually has the legendary for Slice and Dice giving you Adrenaline Rush more damage. Stun onto Boom. Does not have a trinket for this. Mind Games for Boom. And that's still probably going to be a vanish. Blind onto Alessandra. Does not have a trinket. Boom is still ticking down. He might be dead unless he has the Kirin Potion. Does pop the Kirin Potion. And does pop his own heal pot as well. That's really bad. Could survive. But it looks like he might be surviving. Sap, maybe? No, Sap, yes. As it takes him out of stealth. Oh no. Oh no. He's fine. He's fine. He's eating. He's eating and the food immediately starts healing him. As long as he doesn't get hit by Alessandra, he'll be okay. Try to go for a fear. Try to see if he can fear the rogue out. Boom is trying to get max range. I think it's going to be a bit of a feast for him. At 94% dampen, he's unable to get a lot of healing. Alessandra, if they're paying attention, they know exactly where Boom is at. I don't think they paid attention though. Alessandra also has every defensive, and offensive's coming back very, very soon. Especially the big one. Boom should have a Cloak of Shadows for the next one. As long as he's able to, like, I guess, Trinket out of a horror effect and Cloak of Shadows at the right time, he might be okay. Picking up the eye, looking for Boom as he's hanging around the corner. Trying to see if he can poke out. Alessandra didn't even think about going the other side. And Boom, able to sit down and get him more food. Wait, no, he picked up the eye. He never picked up the eye. I didn't even realize it. Nobody turn around. Cheap shot by Boom as he's getting himself an opener onto Alessandra. Is gonna go for a gouge. Slice and nice up and running, roll the bones into a mark for death kidney shot. Continue the damage with a killing spree, probably cloak right after. Trinkets out of the horror effect, curing ability. Cloak of Shadows is going to be used right now. Alessandra popping in disperse. Not a lot of health they can really get with this disperse. Fear into Boomasaur as they get out of the disperse. Try to shot him in. I don't really know if that's the best move right now. Boom might be able to caught a re-stealth. He actually let Boom. You could have just ended it. Why did you try healing at 100% dampening? Alessandra just threw the game. Oh my god. And Boom comes out with the longest but a guaranteed 1v5 as an Outlaw rogue, boys. 100% dampening. You tried to heal yourself. What are you doing? Oh no. Bro, I don't think we've ever had a game go to 100% dampening. This is the one for the history books. This one actually went to 100%. Actual 100%. Boom pre-vanished? Oh, did he? Okay. I thought he, I looked, it didn't look like he did. I thought he had evasion on, honestly. I thought he had evasion on.